Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Well, we're continuing the story about Ruth and Naomi today, and we're going to learn about a new character called Boaz. And of course, we read from the Bible, God's word, God speaking to us, and we will look at Ruth chapter 2, verse 1 to 3 first, and then I'll tell you what we will read afterwards. So Ruth chapter 2, verses 1 to 3, and as always, we read out of the New International Reader's Version, which can be found on the YouVersion app. So let's listen what happens when Ruth and Naomi arrives in Bethlehem. Naomi had a relative on her husband's side of the family. The relative's name was Boaz. He was a very important man from the family of Elimelech. Ruth, who was from Moab, spoke to Naomi. Ruth said, "Let me go out to the fields. I'll pick up the grain that has been left. I'll do it behind anyone who is pleased with me." Naomi said to her, "My daughter, go ahead." So Ruth went out to a field and began to pick up grain. She worked behind those cutting and gathering the grain. As it turned out, she was working in a field that belonged to Boaz. He was from the family of Elimelech. So what happens is Boaz sees Ruth and he asks the other people who this woman is. And so he finds out that she is the daughter-in-law of Naomi. And Naomi is family of him through Elimelech. And he tells the workers that they need to be very, very kind to Ruth, that they should give her water if ever she gets thirsty, that they should not harm her. And he comes and he tells Ruth that she can come back the next day and also pick up grain in his fields, and that she can have water and rest. And she's very happy, and she responds in this way. We will read how she responds in Ruth chapter 2, verses 10 to 13. Ruth chapter 2, verses 10 to 13. When Ruth heard that, she bowed down with her face to the ground. She asked him, "Why are you being so kind to me? In fact, why are you even noticing me? I'm from another country." Boaz replied, "I've been told all about you. I've heard about everything you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband died. I know that you left your father and mother. I know that you left your country. You came to live with people you didn't know before. May the Lord reward you for what you have done. May the Lord, the God of Israel, bless you richly. You have come to him to find safety under his care. Sir, I hope you will continue to be kind to me," Ruth said. "You have made me feel safe. You have spoken kindly to me, and I'm not even as important as one of your servants." So Ruth goes back home with all the grain she has gathered, and she tells Naomi about everything that happened and about this man Boaz that she met. And her mother tells her that this Boaz is a very, very important man for their family. She tells Ruth this in Ruth chapter 2, verse 20. Ruth chapter 2, verse 20, she says, "May the Lord bless him." This is Boaz. Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "The Lord is still being kind to those who are living and to those who are dead." She continued, "That man is a close relative of ours." That means his family. He's one of our family protectors. And what is a family protector? Well, there's also something they called a kinsman redeemer, and it means the same thing. It means that this man in their family would help them if they come into need. Elimelech still had property, and for that property to continue to be in his family, someone had to buy that property and marry the widow. And widow means a woman whose husband had died, just like Ruth. So Naomi says that Ruth needs to go to Boaz and ask him if he will be their family protector, if he will be their kinsman redeemer. So Ruth goes to ask Boaz. This is what Boaz says in Ruth chapter 3, verses 10 to 12. Ruth chapter 3, verses 10 to 12. Dear woman, may the Lord bless you, he replied. You are showing even more kindness now than you did earlier. You didn't run after the younger men, whether they were rich or poor. Dear woman, don't be afraid. I'll do everything you ask. All the people of my town know that you are an excellent woman. It's true that I'm a relative of yours, but there's a family protector who is more closely related to you than I am. So what Boaz does is he goes together with 10 elders and he meets with this other family protector who is closer related. He says he'll buy the property, but when he hears he has to marry Ruth, he doesn't want to be the family protector. So then Boaz decides that he will be the family protector. And what happens? Ruth chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. Ruth chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. Then Boaz said to the elders and all the people, today you are witnesses. You have seen that I have bought the land from Naomi. I have bought all the property that had belonged to Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I've also taken Ruth, who is from Moab, to become my wife. She is Mahlon's widow. I've decided to marry her, so the dead man's name will stay with his property. Now his name won't disappear from his family line or from his hometown. Today you are witnesses. And Boaz and Ruth have a baby, a son, a little boy, that they call Obed. And when Obed grows up, he has a son called Jesse. And when Jesse grows up, he has a son who is named David, who becomes King David. And also from the same line comes the really and true family protector or kinsman redeemer, who is Jesus Christ. How amazing is that? So even though the book of Ruth is quite short, it is a very important story in the Bible, and a story that goes to tell us later on about the line of Jesus. So let's look at a few questions, boys and girls. First question, in whose field did Ruth pick up grain? Second question, how did Boaz show Ruth kindness? 3, what is a family protector or kinsman redeemer? Fourth question, who was Ruth and Boaz's great-grandson? And then last question, who is our family protector or kinsman redeemer? That one true one. Well, that's it for today's boys and girls. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.